Hey, this is Pete Van Amberg from Hitchmount-Rack, and today we're going to talk about the assembly and install of the stabilizer spacer bar kit. Now, the stabilizer spacer bar kit is included with every version 3 rack. It's also sold separately as a kit on its own. The components of the stabilizer spacer bar kit are the stabilizer spacer bar, 2 rubber bumpers, 2 rubber spacers, 4 1.5-inch bolts along with washers and nuts, 2 3-inch bolts along with washers and nuts. Your instructions refer to section 7 of the instruction manual. And then you're going to need a couple of tools: a 9/16" wrench, an adjustable wrench, and an 11/16" socket. Assembly of the stabilizer spacer kit is fairly simple. First thing you're going to do is you're going to grab the rubber bumper. You're going to take one of your washers, slide it into the perforation on the rubber bumper so that it lines up over one of the holes. Take your 1.5-inch bolt. You're going to drop that down in so that it's over the washer in the hole. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. Again, slide the washer in so that it's over the hole. Take your 1.5-inch bolt and drop it in. Once you've got those bolts protruding out, it's good to put a little pressure on it, flip it over, grab your rubber spacer. You're going to sleeve that over the bolt ends. And once you've got that in place, go ahead and grab your stabilizer spacer bar. You'll see where there obviously is going to slide into place. Flip it over. You're going to add a washer and a washer and nut. Finger tighten these into place. And for your final tightening, that's where you want to have your 9/16" wrench. You're going to slide that into the perforation. It's going to go over the bolt head. And then with your ratchet or your adjustable wrench, just go ahead and tighten it down. Doesn't need to be over tightened, just needs to be secure. Flip it around, do the exact same thing on the other side. Again, insert the wrench into the perforation over the bolt head. Tighten in place. To continue our installation, we're going to grab the second rubber bumper. Same process. We're going to take a washer, slide it into perforation, line it up over one of the holes. Take your 1.5-inch bolt, drop it into place. Turn it around, do the exact same thing on the other side. Put a little pressure on the 2 bolt heads. Grab your rubber spacer, sleeve it over the threaded portion of the bolt. Once you get that in place, again, secure your stabilizer spacer bar. Insert the bolts. Turn it over, washer, nut, finger tighten, grab your 9/16" wrench, insert in the perforation, secure the bolt. Not necessary to over tighten, just secure it in place. Same thing on the other side. Now you're ready to install on the vehicle. This is going to install your now assembled stabilizer spacer bar. And what I always advise people to do is just grab their stabilizer spacer bar, their tools, and the 3-inch bolts, nuts, and washers. Put them on top of the spare tire. It just makes it easy to be able to reach and get everything. Now what you're going to do now is the rack is not going to be secure in the trailer hitch, just sitting here right now, and it needs to be far enough away from the spare tire so that you can insert the stabilizer spacer bar in and get it secured. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the stabilizer spacer bar, you're going to bring it down and you're gonna locate a position that gets a majority of the rubber bumpers, so that when you push the rack in, it's gonna be against the spare tire. So you're just gonna line that up, and you're gonna find the right holes right here. Grab one of your 3-inch bolts, insert it into the perforation, slide it through. Go ahead and grab another bolt, another 3-inch bolt. You're gonna notice that there's 2 places for these to go in, one upper and one below. Now you've got the 2 bolts in. Add your washers. And nuts. Take one last look at it so you've got it good and teed off. You don't need to over tighten, just needs to be secure. And now you've got your stabilizer spacer bar installed. What's gonna happen is you slide this into the trailer hitch, it's gonna now abut up against the spare tire, and any backup camera you have, light system or otherwise, is now gonna have a buffer between the rack and the spare. The other thing that this is gonna do is, because of its bracing against the spare tire, it's gonna prevent wobbling of the rack by having more friction against the spare tire. Don't be afraid, once you get this installed, these perforations, these rubber bumpers will actually compress, as will the tire. So don't be afraid to actually push the rack hard against there to line up the holes in the hitch pin line up the holes in the hitch for the hitch pin. Because the tighter the rack is against the spare tire, the better off you are. The last thing I'm gonna say is that without any kind of camera or other system in here that needs to be spaced, or you need space for, you don't need these rubber bumpers or these rubber spacers here, and you can just simply use the spacer bar directly against your spare tire. And that's it. That's the assembly and install of the stabilizer spacer bar on the Hitchmount rack.